Is everybody here?
Let me give you an introduction.
Sorry?
I was going to give you an introduction, but I guess I won't.
No, yeah, you can do the introduction.
You can't herd cats, that's the thing. I knew that this would be like the furry fandom one because everyone wants to see Denni and Laser do their thing. So I'm not going to say much. They're them, you're you, have fun.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming at our panel at Fursuiting 101. What is it? How do I start it? Why do I sweat so much? All these questions will be answered in this presentation. That's Denni, also known as Denni Poes, Denni Cat. And my name is Laser the SharkFox, or you can just call me Laser. Before we start, who does not know what a fursuit is? Okay, so for you guys, but also for Denni, we're going to explain what a fursuit is to begin with. Obviously, fursuits are some kind of cosplay. It's a costume, obviously, home for the furry fandom. It's based off your fursona. I don't need to explain what a fursona is, because this is not this panel for that moment, but all right. Not important. Exactly, it's not important. But also, you have many different types of fursuits. Obviously, you have the dogs, the wolves, the foxes, the cats, and everything. But also you have digigrade and plantigraded legs. For the ones that don't know what digigraded or plantigraded legs are, digigraded is a good option on the right. This is Roffa's the purple dragon. Digigraded legs are more of a actual representative shape of the actual animal, which goes like this person in front of here. Yes. So, like S-shaped kind of legs that actual animals has in the animal kingdom as well. Plantigraded legs are legs we are more familiar with, the human legs, just like Denni over here. It's way more easier to walk around in them. And it basically really depends on your fursona or your suit, whether you want to have digigraded or plantigraded legs. But it's basically your call to make. And also you have full fursuits and partial fursuits. Partial is like people that only wear heads and paws, which can really complement by the clothing that they wear. And full suits, like Denni here, is you have an entire suit that is, your fursona. How do you get one? We all wonder. There are many ways how you can get a fursuit or how to commission a fursuit. But basically, the easiest option, well, not for everyone, but you can make one yourself. Everybody wants to make their own fursuit and how to learn how to make your own fursuit, because it will be actually really amazing if you could make your own fursuit. But yeah, the pros of making your own fursuit is, most of all, money-wise. It's way cheaper to make your own fursuit and to learn how to make your own fursuit than actually commission one. But obviously the cons is, you need to get a lot of practice to make your own. It takes a while, a few tries, a few suits later to get the hang of it. But don't feel ashamed if your first fursuit is not really what you were looking for to begin with. Just wear it with pride, and we're all here to support each other. You can also commission a fursuit. Obviously, the pros of that is you probably will commission a suit from an artist that is way more experienced than me. And the cons of it, it's mostly really expensive because there's a lot of labor that goes into them. Not only the materials, but also hours upon hours of labor that people make just for you to get the entire shape and stuff. And you also have pre-mates, which is not really commissioning, but it's buying a fursuit that's already been made. I almost wanted to say just like you, but this is commissioned, by the way. So, so yeah. Before I want to continue, I want to ask one of you a question. It's not going to be inappropriate. I promise. What's your name? Can I have your name? Can I please ask one question? Chicory. Who is your best friend, Chicory? Or any of your good friends? Just name a name of a furry that you really like. We think who is your best friend? That's okay. Putting you on the spot right here. So, I will be your best friend. Vanilla. So you would consider vanilla as your maybe your fursuit best friend.
I don't know.
Okay, but that's wrong because your best friend is water. Your best friend is always water when you're fursuiting. You need to stay hydrated.
Are you gonna try and poison us?
Water is your best friend. You need to. Water is, hydration is really important when you're fursuiting. You're losing a lot of sweat, and obviously you need water. Your body just needs water, not lemonade or Coke or. I mean, you could try to see how long you last, but obviously water is the best medicine for if you sweat. You need to know your limits. First of all, as well, like if you see someone who has a lot of experience shooting around and he doesn't need a break like in 2 to 3 hours, don't think like, oh, I can do that, because you're going to be dead on the ground if you think like that. So if it's your first time shooting and you need a break after 10 to 15 minutes, then take off your suit because it's literally a lifesaver. Because if you're wearing a suit and you're laying dead on the ground and people think like, oh, he's smiling, no, that's just the head. Because under there is a person actually, dehydrating. Exactly, passing out. But there's also lots of ways how to, stay cool, like drink lots of water. Heat gear, you have things like Under Armour, which is a really well-known brand to fursuiters that, absorbs most of your sweat and tries to cool your body down. You have cooling vests, basically ice packs that's, attached to your body as well. But also take care of others. Get a handler so you don't bump into people that you don't see. Because, for example, Denni, if you can stand right here. Denni doesn't see very well. Like, just like raise your... I'm sorry, but it's true. Raise one of your paws. If you... Well, okay, not now. But raise one of your paws if you can see me, okay? So just look straight ahead. And if you see me, then raise your paw. Okay, so that's from the right. And put your paw down if you can't see my hand anymore, okay? So raise your paw and put it down if you don't see it anymore. So there's a blind spot in the middle, obviously, because, these aren't his real eyes, but we like to believe it is. Don't... Sorry? You see the leads down here as well, because, if a small child is running towards Denni because they really love to give a hug or get a picture or whatever, then he normally doesn't see it. Handlers do. Handlers are people that are not suiting at the moment and just walking beside Denni to, organize everything and just tap them on the shoulder if there's like an obstruction in the way. So that's how you can take care of others as well. But also take a shower before you suit and after you suit. Before you suit because... you don't want to get your suit dirty if you're already sweating before you're getting into it. But also, after you're suiting, don't give me that, oh, my body is naturally clean. No, it's not. Take a shower when you're done with suiting. Deodorant isn't going to cut it on its own. Just, take a shower if you can, please. Because you're stinky. Me too, but that's just...
Not in a rude way.
Not in a rude way, but just in a... informative way. And also take care of your suits. Just continue with the brushing to, have that nice, awesome texture for your fur that goes in the same way and not go all different kinds of ways. Make sure you store it well so it doesn't get all dirty or dusty. And if you have any questions about washing or whatever, or storing your fursuit, if you have commissioned your fursuit and another person, just ask them, because they know a lot about more the fursuit that they made than the person that owns it. Next slide is the tips for the audience. We also have tips for people who are not suiting as well, for people who want to engage with suitors and want to give them hugs and stuff. Just know their handicap. What I just did with Denni, like with the eye vision and stuff, some people kind of forget that they're like handicapped. And I've seen this before at like Comic-Con many months ago, where somebody really wanted to take a picture with a suitor, and then he was just like, for example, talking with somebody in front of them. And they were like hug attacking him from behind. And they were getting kind of rude about it because they thought, oh, but you could like hear me and stuff. No, we can't when we're fursuits. It's a really big handicap. So, know their space and respect their, like you could just walk like 5-6 feet in front of them and just wave until you see that they notice you, and then you can engage them. Ask for a hug as well. Don't just give one, because maybe they're on their way to the fursuit lounge and they want to take a break and they don't really want a hug at that moment. So respect that. Know the value. These aren't just costumes. These are actually what I heard before in this con, and what I really agree with is this is actual pieces of art that you wear around your body. So treat it like that, because it is like some suits cost hundreds, even thousands of euros. So be careful with other people's stuff, obviously. And offer support whenever you can. If you see a suit that's really dehydrating or not doing so well, or you see someone walking towards a banana peel or something, I don't know, just offer them help and say, hey, this is in the way, or do you need some water, do you need help? It can't hurt to offer help, obviously. And performance. There are lots of different ways how you can bring your own fursuit to life. It could be you could be. It's all about your character, basically. If it's a really kind of cool, too cool for school fursuiter or something like that, like at the top left here with those two on the bike, it's really your own personality. And some people make a different personality to escape a little bit from the normie world we all dearly want to escape. But it's you don't have to know your characteristic and performance on day one. It's all about exploring while you're shooting, and maybe ask others like, hey, what do you think I should do, or whatever. But eventually, you will embrace this character, and whenever you put on this suit, you're gonna feel like a totally different being. Voice or not, some fursuiters do a little funny voice while they talk, or some use squeakers, and some meow. And some other fursuiters don't talk at all, just silent suiting, because it fits their character more, it fits their personality more, their characteristics. All that kind of stuff you will find out later on. Breaking the magic. Breaking the magic is basically putting off your head or showing any type of skin or whatever that shows that it's basically not an actual animal, but someone in a suit. But the whole purpose of, fursuiting, to some people is, playing as a character, bringing a certain character to life, your own fursona, bringing your own fursona to life. And breaking the magic is, mostly you do that when you're in the fursuit lounge, you want to take a break. But obviously, like, sometimes you hear people, oh, you may never remove your head at a furry convention if you're not in a fursuit lounge. To be honest, if you want to take off your head and you feel like sweating and it's an emergency, just take off your head, breathe. We're all here with other furries and we all know what we do. But for example, if you do something for charity at a children's hospital and making children happy and stuff, if you want to take off your head, obviously you're going to go backstage and you don't want to break the magic for the kids and stuff. So yeah. And outfits, that really depends on what kind of suit you have. It mostly works with partial suit. You can get really creative with awesome outfits for your shoots, for your partial suits that really complement your character as well. And props as well. You can get like food props or plushies or fake weapons. We don't like to use real weapons, obviously. But yeah, it really depends on how you depict your character. And you can also, ask anyone for help, basically. If you haven't noticed, this is my first presentation for a big audience. But yeah, okay, we're done. Are there any questions? Any questions? One question, yes.
I'm curious, how long can you actually hold it out in a suit built like that?
Is this mic on? Okay, you guys can hear me.
Oh, and just before you ask, I have water if you need it.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
It really differs. I've definitely suited for like 7 hours on a single day. It really differs from person to person, like what kind of gear you have. Maybe you can hear it, but I have a ventilator inside here. Also helps a lot. I'm wearing heat gear right now, so just it really differs from person to person. Some other people can't hold it out for like longer than half an hour. Some other people can just go on all day with minor breaks whatsoever. You just got to know your own limits while doing it, and you'll explore those as you go.
All right.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
We can go like through the presentation again and like slide by slide, see if there's any questions.
Oh, we can try. If we go to the first one.
Anything is fine. This was mostly going to be a question thing, so if there's not a whole lot of questions, it's going to be over quite quickly.
I'm thinking of a question myself. Oh, there's a question right there. Yes.
You talked really briefly about fursuit cleaning and fursuit brushing. It's maybe some detail there would be nice.
Talk more about fursuit washing because it's really important, to keep your fursuit clean. Not only hygiene-wise, but if you clean your fursuit good enough, you can go a long way with fursuits.
Yeah, it's not really a question, but from my own experience, I've always, after I take the suit off, I spray the interior with a disinfectant because you might have left sweat or germs or whatever, or just get rid of whatever stink you might have put into the thing when you were wearing it.
Yeah, it's
Exactly
also very
like-
smart. These disinfectants are usually available in fursuit lounges, but you can also buy them upstairs. Miso Creation sells them. Hint, hint.
Yeah, like most people call it fursuit spray as well. Just disinfection really helps. But also when you talk about actually cleaning them, washing them. Like for example, if you've been to a really big con for like a week and you're home, just a little bit disinfection could work. But if you really want to clean it, obviously best intention is to just ask your maker on what the instructions are. But not every fursuit is like washing machine compatible. Most people that I know wash it in like a big tub, or if you don't have a bathtub, you can just buy one of those plastic tubs, fill it with water, and then just a little bit of, I don't know the English word of it, wasmiddel?
Detergent.
Anyone? Detergents. Just a tiny little bit of detergent. Don't use hot water. Don't ever use hot water because it's really not going well with the fur. It goes all types of different ways except the way that you wanted it to go. But if you are done washing your fursuit, done with kneading and stuff, you're gonna pretend like a cat for a little bit, just kneading your fursuit while it's wet. And once it's done and you hang it to dry, it's really important to brush it like maybe once every hour. So if the perfect ideal time to wash your fursuit is actually in the weekend when you're home for like a day or two. Is just to hang it and just brush it once every hour, because if you don't brush it, it's gonna dry and go in all types of different directions. And besides that, just keep it at a really safe place. Like you could save it like in a suitcase or one of those bags that they also like. You have normal costumes and suits that you can save them in. Just try to keep them dust free and stuff like that. But the best tip that I can give you is if you need any more information, ask your suit maker. Or there's lots of people on the internet that probably has a forum made for it. So yeah.
Especially another note on washing: don't wait until your suit gets dirty and wash it then. Just wash it.
Exactly.
preemptively.
Like it's not only about it looks clean. No, but like fur is really hard to maintain, and we all know that. So if you have had a big furry con, let's say for a week or so, and if you're home, don't smell it and think, oh, it smells clean. Yeah, but that's probably because you used the fursuit spray. But it's really important to wash it as well. Like not every day, obviously, because that might be a little bit too much, but if you wear it for a couple of times. I see a question in the back. I'm gonna... Go. Yes. Go for it.
The fur on a fursuit is usually very difficult to to clean. Are there any tips for this? To clean the fur that's exactly on the fursuit head. I forgot to add that. The head, the fur on the fursuit head, it's very difficult to clean. How do you have tips for this?
So what I heard from some friends is that they use, it really depends on what kind of head you had. If it's a head that's like painted or stuff like that, or have like little freckles on it, like laser, I mostly just obviously don't throw it in a washing machine unless it's made for that, but you will hear that by your maker. But you can like those washhand, washing,
Yeah, this is a washing cloth.
just a washing glove. You can use that to make it wet. Just again, use a tiny little bit of detergent to mix it and go all the way to to go over your suit. And the same for the inside. It's probably the same as your full suit, but most of the eyes that I know that people wear are painted with paint. So obviously, if you're gonna use, or fursuit spray on those eyes or anything wet, it's gonna faint, and it's not going well with it doesn't go well together. But you can always ask your fursuit maker, but mostly just ignore the eyes. But you can just use a what was it again? Washcloth or washing glove. Yes.
Also, really depends on what kind of head base you
Exactly.
have.
It
Mine
really
is made out
depends
of
on.
foam, but there's also a lot of people who have 3D printed head bases nowadays, and you just can't throw it in the washing machine or anything. It will break. So contact your maker about how to actually deep clean it. Another way of cleaning fursuits I've heard is using a carpet cleaner, right?
That's a really good one. Carpet cleaners. It's basically most carpet cleaners are basically most for when you see an actual spot, for example, on your tail. You've been sitting at a con on the floor, and you get up, and your white tail is now a little bit gray. You can always use a carpet cleaner. Some people, not every type of carpet cleaner works with that, but there are some carpet cleaners, especially those little ones. Not that use steam, but the one you should ignore the ones that use steam, I think. Yeah. Yes, because those are for the more actual carpets instead of the wearable carpets. Yes.
I'm just going to disregard the fact that your voice sounds like you're an IBM mainframe because of the ventilator inside. I have one of those mainframes, so I know. I'm curious, are there any particularly fragile parts of the suit, and are there also good ways to protect fragile parts of the suit, both in usage and cleaning?
Yeah, for example...
Let's get the next one.
Like any specific type of parts that could be really...
Easy to break, easy to get dirty?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, the things that really get dirty, is white. Anything white, basically, that get dirty the most. Obviously, fur is the number one thing that gets dirty really easily because you touch everything with your paws and hands, and sometimes you want to act silly and lay on the ground for a picture or something. But yeah, it's basically have a close eye on it, and things that also really break a lot are like accessories like horns, for example, or maybe teeth or nails, or even your fingers that can rip. It's basically seeing what the damage is. For example, you have knitted not to... wait, how do you call it? Naaien. Sewing, thank you. English isn't my best language. But yeah, sewing really helps a lot. To just, sew it twice, maybe. It really depends on what it is, basically.
Yeah, anything that gets a lot of movement, like your tail especially, mine has broken twice now, I think. Anything just that gets a lot of, movement into it, whatever, is very fragile. My ears are also they stick out. They're not as connected as well, so that's something you definitely should attach strongly. Beside that, stuff that gets dirty easily also very much your tail, because you can't see it. You don't know what it's hitting, where it's going. Mainly my tail is the thing that gets the dirtiest usually.
Yes.
And for other fragile parts, yeah, as I said, those 3D printed head bases, like these solid head bases, these are very fragile. But again, you'll notice when you have one, like, I should be careful of this.
So there's a little fur in your mouth. Really bothers me. There we go. Okay.
Such a good handler.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, if you do decide to commission a suit, how do you find a maker?
Finding a maker isn't really easy because there are lots of makers. And obviously, when you want to commission a suit, everybody wants those, famous makers or really expensive ones that are really known for their style of, suit making and stuff. but yeah, you run in a lot of trouble when you want to commission a certain suitor that you. Well, first of all, find the suit maker that really suits your sona. Don't grab one.
Especially like find suits that already exist that fit your sona that you like, and then go to their makers and research that.
Exactly. Yeah, like you can look at their library of what they made and stuff. It really depends on what you feel like your sona should be. But if you find a suit maker that could make your sona, you run in a lot of trouble. You know, are they open for commissions? How long is the waiting queue? Do I have the money for it? Suits, people should. You know, everybody wants a suit in this fandom, but we all should also embrace the fact that suits are a luxury. It's really expensive to, you know, especially commission one. And obviously that sucks for a lot of people, and I certainly didn't have a great time making the transfer to buy my suit. But besides that, if you find one and if you've, you know, grab up the courage to really save up the money if you can, and you could just start with a partial or just maybe make your own. But if you find your commissioner, you should know that when you're talking to that person, most of the people are just like on Instagram or Twitter or X, if you want to be wrong. But if you find that maker, try to keep it formal. Like you obviously you're in a furry fandom, you can have a chat and stuff like that. But it's a big deal for some people and for most people to buy a fursuit, and it's something really, you know, that should be respected professionally because you're actually paying someone to do labor for you, you know. So I hope that kind of answers your question. But yeah, bottom line, you won't find a commissioner really fast or really that easily. Just, you know, be patient most of the time. So.
Yeah, if Jack allows it, I think we have time for
one more.
This is a really short one. Like about the cleaning, can you not just bring it to the dry cleaner? Sorry. Can you not bring like the fursuit to a dry cleaner? Or
I have been suggested that as well. I have never heard of anyone doing it, but it could very well be possible.
It prevents a lot of people to do because you're bringing your fursuit to someone that maybe not be familiar with washing a fursuit. Because if you bring it to a dry cleaner or whatever, most people wash their, you know, normal clothes there, and a fursuit should be, you know, treated really delicately and really carefully. So you could try, but only if you know for certain that that person knows how to wash a fursuit. But maybe for smaller parts, like just your paws or something, and you heard from your maker that they're washing machine compatible, then that's fine, I think. But just, you know, be careful with everything. One last question?
Yeah, question to the both of you. What is your worst and your best moment when suiting?
Well, I know my worst moment, which was before I had a fursuit. Sounds weird, but I was working for a company to, you know, to do commercials and stuff and give away free samples. This one time for Haribo, those gummy bears, I had to play the mascot of the yellow gummy bear. And there was this kid that I couldn't find the parents of it, ran towards me, rammed his fist against he was way too excited. He rammed his fist against my belly, which deplugged the air conditioning on a hot summer day. And my handler was gone having lunch. So that's my worst suit. And the best suit part is, you know, being your own character, walking around, and especially, obviously, your friends and other people seeing you and recognizing you, and, you know, the whole engaging and interacting stuff is probably the best thing for me.
Yeah, same as Laser said, the interacting with people, especially people I don't know, is a lot of fun, or people that are not in the fandom and are just genuinely interested, like, oh, that's a big orange cat, I love that, I want to take a picture with you. Those are the best moments, to be honest. Worst moments, not so sure. Just dying of heat, mostly. I guess last year, Euroferns, it was like more than 30 degrees, and I sweated through a thick sweater. You could literally see how wet the sweater was from the outside. That was pretty bad.
People even said nice dark yellow sweater, but it was actually a white.
But I think
all right, thanks everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Laser the SharkFox, and Denni, the man, the cat, the sticker pack.